All right, I've already got it zoomed in, so I'm not zooming back out again. But we are working in Goldilocks by Ruth Sanderson. It is a very nicely done book. Her artwork is just really well done. These are the Marco Raffine pencils that I have pulled. I may or may not use all of these, but I will number them off again as we go. But you can pause right here and pull them all real quick. All right, let's start on her skin next. Like I said, I've already tried to zoom in. We are going to start with the deeper of my two skin tones, the number 520. And what I like to do when I'm doing skin is go around the perimeter of the face. Let's just go ahead and get that face set in by going around the outsides. Okay, just going in there. I've also recently learned a new technique for putting in the blushy cheeks. Now, it worked good last time. We're going to see if it still works good this time. All right, so there, I've just gone around the perimeter of her face with that number 520. I am going to come in with this pink. Now, this is number 517, and I'm going to pink up her cheeks. Now, that's bright, right? That's really bright. Can you see that? Now, I'm going to erase it. I'm not going to battery this. I'm going to use it by hand because I just want to get what comes off easily. Now, see how it still shows through, but now it's just about right. And it's already shaded around the outside. So now I'm going to come in with my lighter of the two, number 519, and I'm going to finish doing this face. I'm going to go right over the top of the blush, and it may still be just a little dark, but as I go over it, yeah, that's still just a little dark for me. Can you see? Yeah, she looks just a little more than surprised. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to do the power on it. There we go. Got a little more off. I'm finding it's easier for me to lift from time to time. I will try to zoom in just a little bit more so we're not lifting as often. Yeah, see, that's what happens. It's like my camera knows no in between. My phone either goes way in or way out. Let's pull this down, get it into focus. All right, now her cheeks are really light. And I'm going back to the lightest of my skin tones, 519. And I'm going to go ahead and just do my circles all around here. Just get this well blended. And there's her face. So for me, that's a much easier way to do her skin. All right. And that might be a little too much light. Can you see a little better there now? Okay, so now when I come over to do her arm, if you look at your own hand, and see it's blown up, so now I can't show you. It's like the light coming down, like we did on this chair, okay? So it's going to be lighter on top. So I'm going to go ahead and put the light in up here. The light in on the top of her thumb because that's what's on top. So get everything that's here on the top area. Okay? And then where the fingers are curled down, these are going under, and this bottom thumb area is a little under. So this then would be a little more shaded. And that's first, second knuckle. So the fingernails are actually down underneath there. I am going to give her a fingernail on her thumb, but knowing how bright those cheeks went, I am like barely touching, just barely touched her thumb. All right, then I'm going to take the darkest. I'm actually going to blend that just a bit. Okay, I'm going to take the darkest one, wrong one, the darkest of my two shades. See, I've got the light turned down so far, I'm having a hard time. Okay, the darkest of my two shades, and I'm going to go under the edge here of her dress, down the side of her arm, in that crease. Remember, there's a V right there, so that would be the darker. Then along the bottom of her arm, okay, if you look at your arm, down around the bottom is where it's more shadowed. And then on this side, just to make it look more rounded, I always refer back to that candy cane we did last Christmas. Keep it rounded. Okay, and then the lighter shade to blend the two. And that really looks like I used those opposite. Yeah. So hang on. See, I mess up. I have to pull the light back up. Sorry, I can't see. And I have to be able to see, or it doesn't matter what I do. Okay, so the darkest one, put that back in. Then the lighter of the two through the middle. The lighter of the two was up on the top of the hand. This paper does have a little bit of problem grabbing sometimes. Okay, this hand, we're going to turn this sideways a little bit so I can get in here. Up on the top, remember the top part is the light. The light's hitting it. And I am going to go a little bit down here on the fingers. Okay, then the darker one is up under the edge of her outfit and along the bottom. The darker of your two shades, whatever skin colors you're using. I'll put a little bit right there. And then her fingers here where they're kind of curled away might have a little bit of darkness, and then that shadow along the bottom of her arm. Okay, now in keeping with the whole fingernail thing, just barely touch them, just barely, just enough. You have just a little bit of color there. All right, we do the same thing with her lips. We just want her to have some color. And this is like my lightest pink. All right, there we go. Now we've got all the skin done, and I'm going to use my lightest and just come in here and do another layer just to make sure that all that paper is covered. All right, yeah, I had come back up and did the thumbnail just a little bit more again. And see, when it's close up, you can tell where there's still some paper poking through. So that's kind of good to watch. Okay, let's go on to her hair. And I'm just going to have to move this around if you really want to be this close. All right. So see, I didn't use near all those pencils yet. Hair, I'm going to look at some of the same browns we've used before. Okay, 502, 552, 553. Now remember, these colors aren't necessarily the same as what comes in the barrels. They're not really well matched up. I'm going to take and, can you see everything? Nope, not quite. So I'm going to have to zoom out just a touch. There we go. Camera stop wiggling. Okay, so I'm going to go over the lighter areas. She is going to be a dirty dishwater blonde in my book. You can pick whatever colors you want. I'm using number 502. And some of these little strands will look better as we do the curtains and things behind her head, because then they're going to show up more. So I'm just getting some of these whiter areas penciled in. And it's okay if you go over and get some of the other areas too. It'll just turn those a lighter shade of brown when you go over them in a little bit with your other colors. So don't stress over making sure that you stay in the lines. And all of this is kind of darker, but I don't want her hair to end up real dark. So I am going to go ahead and just put some of that light in there anyway, because I do want her to have lighter hair. And see, like that was probably curtain. So I'm just going to go in and take that back out. So yeah, keep an eraser on hand. Whatever your favorite eraser is, keep that on hand, because there are lots of times where we need to go in and erase. Yeah, those cheeks, that's the way I've been doing it on the last couple of pictures. So that may be something that I start doing quite a bit, is just putting the color on, then erasing it off. All right, so right now I've put in a lot of this. It's almost a skin tone. Now I'm going to go in and get my darkest, which I'm going to use 553, and we'll see if this is too dark or not. I'm going to use it sparingly because I don't want to make her dark-haired, but being golden is okay with me. So again, just being careful how much of this I put in, using it mainly in the darkest of areas. Just using some little wavy lines to get some texture in there. Just back in those darkest areas. And then I've got another color that I pulled. Again, this is 553. And I guess I really should write these numbers down. I'm writing down at the bottom of my book in the margin right now, hair, 553, 502, and then our other number is going to be 552. So I've got that written down now. That way, as I work in the book and I come across more pictures, I can use the same colors on her hair. Kind of not fun to be flipping through a book when you're finished and find out you've used different colors on her, I don't think. You know, I think it's just good to kind of stay with the same on that. So you may also want to write down your skin tones. Now over here I'm going to add some hair coming around. I'm going to go a little darker up in here. Cover that gray. Put in some wavy lines. She does have very wavy hair. So let's try to keep it wavy in how we do our lines. Okay, Just keep looking around the picture for any lines that seem like they would be a little bit darker. It should be starting to take shape for you. And then, like I said, we're going to come back in. Now I'm going to do some out here just because it's going to help it to show up better when we start putting that next color in. I am not a blonde. I am dark-headed. Well, I used to be. I'm going gray and decided to quit bottling it. So, kind of a spattering of color right now, but basically dark. Point being, I've never had to really look at a head of hair that's blonde, so I can only guess. So on this, your guess may be as good as mine. Okay, but you see how we left that really loose going through there? Kind of reminds you of doing the flooring. Yeah, where we made all the little lines in the wood grain. Okay, now I'm going to my medium color. This is the 552. And I'm just going to try to finish covering anything that's hair. Get all those loose little tendrils. Get everything done up. Now I can take this dark and come back in right here. Get that hair that's fallen over. Then back to my medium. Let's get all this hair done. Isn't she pretty? Ruth really does an excellent job on illustrating her books. I wish I had Cinderella and anything else she's got that's nursery rhyme or fairy tale. I just love her work. So, yeah, she did send me this one, so I'm grateful for that. Had a lot of fun with this. And as long as you keep asking for pages, I'll keep coloring them. I'm going to go ahead and get right up here. Come down this other side. Make sure you get all the hair. And as we do that background, we're going to have to go around all these little tendrils. There's some more hair there. Falls down around her shoulder. Now I'm going to come in with the dark, make that a little darker, make it a little darker here, put a little bit darkness back in here. What that does is pop some of these curls up to the top and just gives a little bit more curl and movement. Okay, go here. I'm going to go a little darker here. Just a little bit of dark down through here. Just look at your picture and decide where you think you need a little more dark for the light to really show up as light. Okay? Dark up next to light makes light look lighter. Now, I am going to go in with the sharpener, listen to me, the eraser, and I'm going to do the line right here. That's where the light's hitting her head. That's the spot I've chosen. Now, I could go in and add this first color back in there, but I think what I'm going to do is add it just right here a little bit, and then around, and leave that. I think I like that shine area. So that, my friend, is hair. Okay? So if you see any spots that you missed, or that need to just be spruced up a little, go in and get those done. And then, yeah, we'll just go on from that. Okay, where are we time-wise? We're at 19 minutes, so we're going to keep going. let's look at this. I've pulled these greens. Normally I would put her in pink, but I want some green in here too. So I've pulled 551, 544, 548. All right, so get your light, medium, and dark. And I think what I'm going to do is actually do her skirt in this color. So I'm going to take the dark, here we go, up to her skirt. Can I get it all in? Woohoo, yippee. All right, so I'm going to take the darkest and start coming around here. And if you were with me yesterday when I did Hansel and Gretel, you're already familiar with these greens. Okay, that was darker, so I went darker there. There's a little bit of darkness there. I'm going to get lighter as I come out. And put just a little bit of shading up under this arm. And that will push the dress back just a bit and make that arm appear to be extending this direction as it really would be. Okay, I'm going to go down this dark line. Let's go down this line. Let's go down those. Let's take and lighten this as we come down just a little. Okay, just fade that out so that when we add that next color in, it's going to look more natural. And then we're going to keep coming down. See that line that's there, that shadow? Let's get all that shadow in, and right here it's darker. Go ahead and make it darker. There's one of those V's right there. See that? And then it's darker here. And then we can go lighter. We can still fade that out. My next color is more of a yellow green, so I do want to go ahead and pull some of this green out a little so that it's going over the top and not just on white paper. I think it would be too stark. Okay, getting some of these darks in. Getting this done. And this over here, because see, all of this is part of her skirt. So it went here, and then it's here. So that means this is part of her skirt too. It's just way over there. So it's actually going to be a little bit darker because it's so far away. Okay, bring those colors up. Let's redefine that line. Let's redefine this one. Okay, get those lines in there. This should be looking almost velvety, but we're fixing to change everything as we add more color to it. Okay, now I have a medium green that's almost the same. Let's bring this out just a little bit lighter touch there. All right, so my next green, that was 548. Now I'm doing 544. This is where I'm going to come in and cover the rest of her dress. I'm not going dark. I mean, I am barely touching the paper. Can you see that? Just barely adding color. I just need to get this base color on there before I add this next color, because I need to do the layering. I don't want it to be the shocking yellow green that it's going to be if I don't. So that's why I have to add this layer. Don't be afraid of layering your colors. Even if you've got like a 12 pack of Crayola, if you do a green and then layer a blue over it, you've made a new color. Okay, now if you're layering blue and you add yellow over the top, you're making a green, but it may be a different green than what's in your color box. So layering is some good fun. All right, now I'm going to that lightest one, that 551. And See how bright that is? That's why we put the green down first. Can you imagine how bright it would have been if I hadn't put that down first? Really bright. But you could dress her in blue or red or whatever color you want. With her hair being the color it is, I just figured that this green, with this particular green, would really pull the yellows from her hair and be pretty. So that's the reasoning for that. So just adding this color in, doing what you need to, whatever direction you need to be able to get up next to that arm without getting into it. Okay. Keep working with it. Each layer of color pushes more color down into the little divots of the paper than what was showing before. Right here in this area where there's not as many folds, I can get in here and do little bitty circles and really brighten that up. Look how that section's brighter than this section. I'll go up next to that fold but not into it, and it'll really brighten each one of these little sections up. Yeah, play with color. Color is your friend. If you're having a hard time coloring a flower picture, go pick something out of your closet that's got like 5 colors in it and use those 5 colors in your picture. The colors are already picked for you. You can't go wrong. Yeah. All right. I do like her wearing this green. I am going to come in with my darkest green and just add some more color back in. Do you see what I'm doing? I don't know if I can show you up close. I am taking, let's do it on, okay, I'm going to do it backhanded. How can I do this where you can see it? I'm taking and I'm touching and then lifting off. Touch and lift off. Okay, that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to touch down and then lift up and off. And I'm just getting those green lines right back in there. Getting some of that color back in. Okay. Making your darkers dark will make your lighters, your light colors appear even lighter. Okay? Just fiddle with it. There's nothing wrong with fiddling. I see some people that have to be done in an instant. No, it's going to take a while. Now that trim, so this is the trim, so this is really the bottom down here. It's having a problem seeing that. And anytime you're having a problem seeing exactly what something is, just follow it over from the other side and see. This in here looks like a muddled mess, so I am fixing to color it dark. Now it has suddenly all become part of her dress. Okay, so now the rest of this is down under her legs. Now I'm going to come in with the lighter shade. Yeah, you thought it was too dark, but look, we just lighten that back up a bit. And now it looks like that's pushed down underneath, and it's a good shadow. All right? And it's balanced out because of this dark area and this dark area. So as long as you've got that triangle, so to speak, of darkness going on, it pulls it all together. All right? Okay, let's look at her shoes. going to time out soon. Maybe, maybe not. I just grabbed some browns and I'll go over them as I use them. I'm going to do 556. And it may be a little bit dark. I just did the shine marks. That shinier area. The worn area on the toe. Keep it light. Don't go very dark on this. Okay. Then I'm going to grab 563. And I'm doing the darkest areas. Okay. Okay, I got to go back to that first color. Get the, whoops, that was the wrong color. 555, I think, is what I was supposed to have used. Oh well, it's in. I did her toe. Back to my darkest color. Doing these darker areas. Getting the heels of those shoes in. Some of that stitching. If you look, you'll see it there. Some dark here. Now I'm going to go to 555. Just kind of blend this all together. Don't go very dark. This will get dark really quick on you. Okay. Just be careful with it and it'll be all right. All right, there's her shoes. Not too bad, huh? Okay, the one thing I am seeing is right there. I'm thinking that is still part of her skirt. So I'm just going to grab one of my darker greens and put that in. It kind of disappears, so I'm not worried about it. Okay, but it was going to look odd and be there later. Okay, what else? You think that's good for this time? Shall we pause since we're at 32 minutes? Okay, let's go ahead and pause. And when we come back, we will do some more on her little outfit. All right, see you in a bit.